Very good morning. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayan. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Sai Satcharita, the life and teachings of Shirdi, Sai Baba. So today we'll begin with a new chapter, that is chapter 46, Journey to Kashi-Gaya and the story of the goat's past birth. My obeisance to Shri Ganesh, to Shri Saraswati and Shri Guru Maharaj, to the family deity, to Shri Sita Ramachandra. My most humble obeisance, I bow in reverence to the most venerable Guru, Shri Sai Nath. Blessed are your feet, Shri Sai, blessed. O Sai is your remembrance, and blessed is your darshan, all of which liberate us from the bondage of karma. Though invisible in form, now yet when faith and devotion are reposed in you, your spirit in the samadhi is awakened, and the devotees experience this even today. Such is the fine string that you hold, that try as we may, you do not make it visible to us. All the same, you pull your devotees to yourself with it, whether they be in this country or in any other. And as you bring them to your feet, you embrace them lovingly as a mother, her own children, so you nurture them easily and effortlessly. Absolutely. In yesterday's satsang, we did how the Guru is the father, the mother, the greatest, the Almighty Lord, everything to an individual. The Guru is everything. He is the Father whose words you have to embed in your heart. His instruction is the one you have to obey, and his command is something that you need to follow to the T. So yesterday we did in the chapter, the greatness of Shri Guru's feet. We have done all of this. So I'm not going to, go deeper into it, but let's continue. And as such is the manner of your pulling the strings, that nobody knows where you are, but the results make us believe that you stand behind your devotees at all times. Absolutely true. Though you cannot see him in through the visible eyes, but his, you can sense him, you can experience him, that he's always there, he's standing behind you. My Krishna Guruji will always say, go ahead, I'm always behind you, please know that I'm always with you, I'm ahead you, behind you, everywhere around you, I'm the one who's walking you. It's very beautiful. Yeah, you might not be able to see me, but have that conviction, that and faith that I'm always with you. There is not moment in time that I'm not with you, because he's all pervading. He lives in my heart. He lives in everybody else's heart. So when I see God in everything, Lord Shri Krishna in everything, why do you think I'm not going to experience? He can use any form, whether it is animate or inanimate, and come and give me that experience. But it is my conviction and faith that I should be able to recognize him when he comes. The learned pundits, the clever and comely, get stuck in the mire of the worldly life due to their conceit. But with your own power, you sport with the simple and trusting, the ignorant and unknowing. Absolutely true. I think we've done enough of this. Let us continue. Inwardly, you play all games and stratagems, yet pretend to be aloof, detached. After doing everything, you yet call yourself a non-doer. Really, nobody can understand your ways. This is something I will explain. Absolutely true. Even my Krishna Guruji, he's the master strategist. I tell him, oh my God, your ways of doing things is incomprehensible. We cannot even comprehend. Yet, he'll say, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here and watching. I'm only a witness, mere a witness. Of course, yes, though he's not doing anything, please understand, he doesn't even have to lift his finger or move his finger. Everything is happening in this universe under his substratum alone. In the sense, he's the substratum of everything. Today in technology, we say AI powers everything. AI is the underpinning technology, we say, okay? Similarly, I call my Krishna Guruji, you're the one who's underpinning everything. You're the one which is powering everything. Means he's the substratum of everything that is happening. But yes, he's non-doer, which is a fact. He doesn't even have lift his finger. He's not doing anything. And in Lord Shri Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, has very beautifully experienced. Do not attribute me as I am the doer. Yes, when you have the devotion and say, God, you are the doer, I am but mere an instrument. Because we don't take credit for I am the doer. So we attribute it in that capacity. But the God is actually the non-doer. Lord Shri Krishna doesn't do anything, yet everything happens under his domain, in the sense under his substratum. He is the one who is running this entire universe. In one of the words in Bhagavad Gita, he says, just with this tiny little finger, the fraction of, with the power of the Yog Maya, this entire universe is running. That's exactly what Lord Shri Krishna is. Can you imagine his power? It is unfathomable. We cannot even imagine, because you can't use this stupid little mind to understand him. And please know that you cannot even have your conceit to, when you have your mind's self-conceit or deceit, it cannot even, help you realize who this, sorry, excuse me, it will not even allow you to, realize the greatness of this divine being. So forget about it. Yes. So my Krishna Guruji will also say, I'm not doing, I'm only witnessing. But we know everything is happening around him. His universe is working magic, but the universe listens to my Krishna Guruji. He doesn't have to say a word, but when the word comes from his mouth, please know that it is not the word that makes it happen, but he already knows what is programmed, because he's the only one who knows our past, present, and the future too. So in that case, what happens? He knows. So he's only giving you a precursor to what is going to be. And I'll always tell him, please don't say anything from your mouth before you say things. Then he'll ask me a question. You think just because I say that it's going to happen? No, it's already programmed. So I'm, giving you a heads up. This is how it works. But understand, yes, the divine Lord Almighty is not doing anything. He's just witnessing. But yet, everything else is performed by his universe. The Prakriti, the Mother Nature does it, okay? Under his domain. Everything is happening under his domain alone. Therefore, let us offer at your feet our action, speech, and mind, and have on our lips a ceaseless chant of your name. Only then will our sins be washed away. Absolutely. In yesterday's lesson also we learned that Baba is saying, always chant my name. You remember I gave you a very beautiful story, and in that Baba has also explained how his heartbeat is nothing but the chant of the divine Lord's name. Similarly, I gave you my own experience. What do I hear in the heartbeat of my Guruji, Krishna Guruji? It is the chant of the divine Lord Almighty's name alone. You satisfy the desires of those who have desires. To the desireless, you give them the abode of eternal bliss. Such is your sweet, pleasurable name, which is the easiest means of the devotees. Absolutely, it's very easy to attain him. How? By ceaselessly chanting his name. And to the desireless, he gives them the eternal bliss. To those who desire, he fulfills his desires. He doesn't let anybody, whatever is your innermost being's desire, he fulfills them all. That is exactly what is mentioned here. By repeating the name, sins are destroyed, rajas and tamas disappear without a doubt, and sattva accumulates gradually, which results in a store of moral and religious merit. Absolutely. So what is more important when you keep chanting the name of the divine Lord, or whatever the mantra your Krishna Guruji or anybody, any Guruji has initiated you with, you have to chant that name. You have to constantly keep that name in your mind, in your heart, and on your lips, because it's not worthy of taking anything else or thinking about somebody else, getting attached into that. Any other name other than the Lord Almighty's is always going to put you in karma with that being. So please don't think anyone else except the divine Lord Almighty's name alone. And that is why we say, Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murti, Puja Moolam Gurur Padam, Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam, Moksha Moolam Gurur Krupam. So whether it is your meditation, whether it is your worship, whether you are chanting the mantra, everything has to be with the divine Lord Almighty, which is your Guru. So don't take any other thing apart from this divine alone in your life. It is not worth it. Let your mind constantly meditate upon him. Worship his lotus feet. Chant his name, and you will attain the grace and attain the eternal abode. And most important here, what happens when you do this, rajas and tamas are destroyed. See, today we are in the Kali Yuga. In the Kali Yuga, what happens is we are fast hurtling towards destruction, because everything is filled with tamas. inertia, lethargy, you name it, unrighteousness is growing and there's no way out of it. The only way out of it is by ceaselessly chanting the name of your guru, and most important is surrendering unto his lotus feet and having absolute faith and exclusive devotion. That is all the way out. There is no other way out. And when you do this, what happens? You will overcome rajas and tamas. See, forget about being in rajas today. Nobody is in rajas too. Everybody is going towards the destruction, that is becoming tamasic day by day. So you have to evolve towards sattva. The only way to do is all these things that I've already mentioned to you. And then what happens? Sattva accumulates gradually, which results in the store of moral and religious merits. When God devotion and moral consciousness is awakened in this way, renunciation follows speedily. Sensual desires are totally annihilated and self-realization appears instantaneously. When knowledge is gained through a discriminating intelligence, the whole concentration is on self-absorption, which in itself means abiding humbly at the Guru's feet. This is called a complete surrender to the Guru. Okay, let us understand what does this mean. When knowledge is gained through a discriminating intelligence, what do you have to discriminate? Discrimination means to understand the real from the unreal. The second most important lesson on discrimination means to be able to see God in everything. This entire creation, you should be able to see God. Whether it is inanimate or animate objects. In everything you should be able to see God. That is discriminating intelligence. Then the whole concentration is on self-absorption. What does it mean? When you see that everything is God, so you are one with that self. Then the entire concentration is on the self-absorption. And that is why we say when you are in oneness with that divine, and see God in everything. So what is then your outside of it? Nothing, right? So then you are fully in that self, absolute oneness in that, in full complete concentration. You have absorbed yourself in that, which is in itself means abiding humbly at the lotus feet of your Guru. It's beautiful, isn't it? Is it so easy to do this? No. When you see God in everything, when you surrender yourself in the self-absorption, completely just absorbing yourself, realizing that, there is nothing outside of God and everything is within Him alone. The entire creation rests within Him. And He rests in everything that is in the created aspect. When that absorption comes, so you're able to see God in everything. So where is the point of having any other object, the thought, or where is your mind, dwelling into some other object? There is no chance for it. Then in that state is when it means you're humbly abiding at the lotus feet of your Guru. This is called a complete surrender to the Guru. How does the surrender happen? First is purification of your heart, purification of your mind, and then the surrender happens. But without purifying, how can you surrender to your Guru? It does never going to happen. And most important, what is it required? First is absolute faith. And then complete surrender. So this is the second stage. And next comes unconditional pure love. And the last comes exclusive devotion. And this devotion is bestowed upon you by the divine Lord Mighty God Himself. It is not going to come. You have to practice being devoted, but that devotion to Him, which is the highest form of devotion, is going to be best blessed by Him alone. That bhakti is not so easy to attain, but you have to strive. When you go through all this process, then the devotion is established within you. Then you're only going to be able to see Him in everything. But first is sadhana. You have to practice. There is only one sign of the mind having totally surrendered at Sai's feet. The seeker's inclination towards peace, and then his devotion is totally exalted. Absolutely. What does it mean? There is only one sign of the mind having totally surrendered at Sai's feet. The seeker's inclination towards peace. That you want peace. Peace is not that, the kind of peace. Peace is that truth, that contentment, that bliss. That, just peace. Your mind is not agitated. Your mind is not constantly irritated with someone, some object. No. There is total calmness. There is tranquility. and that is peace. And then his devotion is totally exalted. Then you're in an exalted state in that devotion. There is nothing affects you. You can only feel happy for everybody. Even in the worst situation, you will be able to experience that blissful state. You will be tranquil. There will be peace. That is peace. A loving devotion to the Guru is called Dharma. Oh my God. This is very, very, very profound. Let us understand. Everything is the essence of knowledge. Distaste for sensual pleasures is the greatest detachment, and there follows a cessation of worldly life. Wow, this is very profound. Let us understand. Let us go slowly. A loving devotion to the Guru is called Dharma. What is your Dharma? When you are initiated in spirituality by your Guru, the real master, when you get this diksha, that initiation, then your dharma is only to have loving devotion to your Guru. There is no other dharma. The only dharma is service unto the lotus feet of your Guru and doing exactly what your Guru has ordained you to do. Please understand this. Whatever your Guruji has ordained you, whatever the command and instruction he has given you, following to the T is what is your dharma. There is no other dharma for you. See, you are already out of that material worldly existence. So when you have already been put on the path, then you have to exactly follow what your Guru commands you to do, what your Guru ordains you to do. I'll tell you a very interesting thing. This is about my own self. With my Krishna Guruji, he said, your job is to, he gave me an X job. I'm not going to talk about what my job is. So he said, you have to do this. I denied him. I said, no, I'm not going to do. I don't want to do. I'm never going to do. And I don't even want to. And then finally, he's been telling me, you have to do satsangs. You have to do satsangs. Last year onwards, he's been telling me. I'm like, yeah, I'll do. I will do. I will do. I didn't listen to him. See, this is what happens. You cannot go against your Gurudev. You cannot. And then finally, it so happened, he worked the way out. And then he said, on his late mother's birthday, it just so came, like I told you before when I started this Sai Satcharita, how his late mother, her name is Asha. So Aji would every year do the Sai Satcharita Parayan herself. Every year she will do during this Ashad month, in the month of the July, and then she will do a Samapti. So it has been her ritual for many years. And since this year she was not there, it just came within me that this is something I have to do it for her. When I was offering prayers to my Guruji, and then I did tell him. Then he said, now you have to start. So go do it. Let us do it live. I was too nervous. I thought I'm just going to sit and do one-on-one. But this whole thing transformed. So you know what? You can deny as much as you want that I am not going to do. There is no two ways about it. You are already programmed. The instructions are clear. He'll always say, you have signed a bond with me and bond to eternity. So you cannot run away from your duties. Whether you like it or not, you have to do your dharma. What does the dharma mean? Everything that your Guru commands, you have to do follow that instruction to the T. And so my Krishna Guruji will say, even my Gurudev has given me this task of coming and teaching. I didn't want to teach you. I didn't even want a student like you who's very difficult, who doesn't want to listen. He so cutely will say this. Nobody wants to listen to me. Yeah, it's very true. We are all given into our mind, ego, arrogance. I, me, myself, I know too much. We don't want to listen. We don't want to bend our ego. We don't want to, let go of our ego. We think no end of ourselves. So he'll say, why should I teach you? I didn't want to teach anybody. But you know what he says? He said, I have to obey my Gurudev because his word is my command. So he said, I'm doing my job today. Likewise, I have instructed you. So you please do your Swadharma. There is a purpose of this birth. There is a purpose of my existence, and I have to fulfill that purpose. I can deny as much as I want. We all can deny. But please understand, we will have to do the same thing which we deny. And that is why in Lord Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is very beautifully explained to Arjuna. In the 18th chapter he says, you know what? Give in to your self-conceit and you take the decision that you don't want to fight the war. Please understand, you're going to be driven as though mounted on a machine. Perforce perform the same action, born of your nature. This body has been given a certain specific nature. Why? Because I have to do my swadharma. I might deny as much as I want, but I don't have a choice. Likewise, nobody else has a choice. So, and especially for those who are under the guidance of the Guru, who have taken initiation from the master, and they have to follow to the T. We are here to do service to this humankind. We are born to serve. We are born to, evolve on the path of spirituality, and our goal is one is our dharma, and second is our swadharma. These are the two things which we have to follow in our life. So this doesn't apply to the material worldly people. Yeah, in the material world they have to do their dharma, whichever that is born of their, the purpose of their existence, which is to fulfill their karma and go on their path. But for spiritual beings, it's all the more important that we follow the dharma. Dharma is to follow the words of your Guru, the instructions that he says, the command that he gives you. You have to obey to the T. There is no way, there are no two ways about it. And the next thing is to doing my swadharma. And what is the dharma also is to be devoted unto the lotus feet of your Guru. That is the highest dharma. And when you go off and not obeying, when you show disrespect, then you go on the path of adharma. You are doing unrighteousness, and then you are creating sins and karma. Please remember this very clearly. So then my Krishna Guruji will say, so you don't have a choice. So why are you saying I don't want to do? You know you very well, you don't have a choice. Sometimes it just feels like I'm at a gunpoint. I keep telling I don't like this gunpoint. No, but that is what it is. It is very sweet, though we might deny. But you know what? Serving the humankind is very beautiful. Being selfless in our job is very important. Selfless service to humankind is extremely important. And when we do that, that is the greatest satisfaction which you can ever get. And then you are pleasing Lord Hari, Lord Shri Krishna. Please understand this. We are here serving this entire universe. When you serve, remember, who are you serving? You are serving Lord Shri Krishna. How are you serving? See, we all began from this, right? You have to be able to see God in everybody. This is very clearly understood by us, that Lord lives in everybody's heart. So when you serve a human being or anybody in this world, who are you serving? Please remember this very well. You are not serving that individual, you are serving the Lord. That is why the highest form of seva is to wear yourself out for this entire universe. And don't bother what you're going to get and what is the benefit you're getting. We are not here to do it for some benefit, but we are here to do as a seva. Service is the highest form of worship to Lord Shri Krishna. And that is what is dharma all about and swadharma all about. So everything is I, is the essence of knowledge. That I that comes, I is the essence of knowledge. I know this, I know. Remove that ego. That is why Lord Shri Krishna has said, when you have to attain him, you have to chuck that knowledge also. You have to give up that knowledge and then only go to him. Literally naked humbleness, show with that absolute humility, only with the devotion. You have to become subservient. That is how you can attain devotion to Lord Shri Krishna, not with this I of knowledge. Distaste for sensual pleasures is the greatest detachment. Distaste for sensual pleasures. Have we ever overcome our sensual pleasures? We want to eat good food, we want to wear good clothes, we want to hear nice things, we want to smell, see everything. We want to travel, enjoy. Everything is driven by our sensual pleasures. But the distaste for pleasures is the greatest detachment. So you need to have a distaste. I'll tell you something very beautiful. My Krishna Guruji, though he likes certain food, he loves sweets and all that. We say he likes. Please remember that. He's the highest detached being. There is no there's no contact of the mind, between the sense and the sense object. It is already cut there. In our case, our mind enjoys. Who is enjoying? It's the mind which enjoys. It is not the senses that you're titillating. When the sense comes in the contact of sense object, what comes is the mind. And please remember, don't forget this lesson. Where is your mind? Mind is from head to toe, all over your body. Every pore of your being is filled with the mind. So the mind is the one which enjoys. So the enjoyment happens in the mind. And so what we're titillating our senses. So the distaste. So in my Krishna Guruji's case, or all this great master, that bond is cut. It's disconnected. There is no contact between the sense and the sense object because the mind is already cut. There's no connectivity and there's no taste that they can experience, but they will show you that they are relishing the food. It is just an enactment. But whatever they eat, it doesn't even affect their palate. It doesn't even matter to them. They just eat because they have to sustain the body. And I've already explained this to you in one of the chapters when Baba also was talking about it. So I'm not going to go deeper, but just giving you a reminder about what it means. And then the greatest detachment. So when you have this kind of distaste for pleasures, any kind of pleasures, that is the greatest detachment. And that is why Lord Shri Krishna says the most important thing, the first three Ds are dispassion, detachment, and discrimination. So when you have to be, when you're dispassionate, when you're detached, and when you discriminate, then it's so easy to be on the path of spiritual. That is the foundation on which the spirituality rests. The temple of the truth is built on that. And there follows a cessation of worldly life. Absolutely. Then you become devoted completely in the spiritual world. Blessed is the greatest of such devotion, which, when practiced single-mindedly, brings peace, renunciation, and fame, which three are always in its power. Blessed is the greatness of such devotion, which, when practiced single-mindedly, brings peace, renunciation, and fame, which three are always in its power. How can he be wanting in anything who has such Guru devotion? Absolutely. When you have such a highest form of Guru devotion, what wanting can you have for anything else? This is the ultimate goal of your life, which you need to have. That should be the ultimate desire. That should be the, you should be passionate about having attachment to your, the lotus feet of your Guru. The highest devotion is what you have to ask for. That will be ultimate thing that you can ever seek. Then you will not have any other wanting after that. Whatever he wishes for in his mind will come to him quite effortlessly. Then what makes you think you will not get what you want when you have such surrender to the lotus feet of your Guru and have such great devotion? The only attachment is him. Then what makes you think you will not get everything that you wish and desire for in life? Effortlessly it will come to you because your Gurudev knows everything. He'll fulfill it for you. Have that conviction and don't hanker after desires or material worldly objects and sensual pleasures. It's not worth it. And such devotion has Brahma Sthiti, the state of oneness with Brahman. Absolutely. See, when you're one with your Gurudev, you're one with Brahman. Simply, how easy is that? Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. So Guru is the Parabrahma. So when you experience that oneness, aren't you not experiencing oneness with the Parabrahma? See, that's what I keep telling. The Parabrahma is in the palm of your hand. But we're running, we're searching, we're trying to attain somewhere. We're thinking there's something else to attain. Hey, there is nothing to attain. The only thing you need to attain is your Gurudev. The oneness with him. The day you attain this oneness, then you are attained the Parabrahma. How easy is it? But your mind thinks something very complex. Oh God, I have to study scriptures, I have to do so many scriptures, I have to study, I have to get knowledge. There's nothing to attain. The only thing to attain is your lotus feet of your Gurudev, the highest devotion. Actually, Baba has made it so simple. He's telling you how easy it is to realize God, how easy it is to attain the Parabrahma, and yet we think there is something we are searching for. The Parabrahma is standing in front of you and we are looking around, leaving that Parabrahma, we are searching everything else. That is called Maya. That is Maya. That is delusion, making you think that you have to attain something else. It's so simple. Can you not understand? When you are devoted to your Gurudev, you have attained the Parabrahma. That is the devotion. When you worship your Gurudev, you are worshipping the Parabrahma, Lord Shri Krishna himself. What more you want? When you are devoted to him, you have attained devotion to Lord Shri Krishna. When you love him, you are loving Lord Shri Krishna. There is nothing else for you to attain. But that Guru Bhakti should be. But please remember, this comes with absolute humility, humbleness, respect, and highest, in front of him, don't even open your mouth. Be humble, be subservient. In the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, the sages are sitting in front of Sutta Goswami and they're asking, you know this, the lesson, the entire story of Srimad Bhagavatam. Can you please narrate it to us? And then in that Sutta Goswami says how he sits in front of the sage and in submissive, being submissive is the word, and then seeks for the grace for them to give him that knowledge. But this is what you need to ask for, not with your ego and arrogance, thinking that you're some great God Almighty and think, we all have to bow down to your ego. Please no, ego will destroy you. Arrogance will lead you nowhere. All that evil propensity, please chuck it out of the window. And that is why in Krishna Ashram will say, please leave your ego, arrogance, and all your knowledge that you have learned, and please walk in. And the chappals outside, then walk in here. That is what you have to come with, absolute humility and humbleness. Then that Parabrahma will give you that knowledge. It's funny when the God Almighty, the Parabrahma is sitting in front of you, you're going all over around trying to seek something. There is nothing to seek. When you can attain this Guru devotion, you have attained everything. That is the highest secret which Baba is revealing. In everything, that is exactly what is being discussed. But does it even enter your dud head? No, your mind doesn't allow you to see this truth. Please remember, I have given you the most profound secret here. Baba has revealed it. And if you still don't understand, nobody can save you. That is called Maya. You will still be lost in delusion. And people will come and say, Guruji, tell us now what to do. Hello, what Guruji, tell us. Guruji is already sitting there. Parabrahma is sitting there. Just be devoted. Everything will work magic. This is exactly what this lesson means here. It says, blessed is the greatness of such devotion, which, when practiced single-mindedly, brings peace, renunciation, and frame, which three are always in its power. How can he be of wanting in anything who has such Guru devotion? Whatever he wishes for in his mind will come to him quite effortlessly. Please underline this, and don't keep coming and thinking about. And there are people, see, I'll also tell you a very funny thing that happened. Somebody whom we know, the person is not spiritual. But I was just giving an understanding to this individual saying, look, when you touch the feet of the Guru, what happens when you bow down to him? Please remember, you're passing on your bad karmas, you're surrendering to that. And immediately this person jumped and said, oh, that means I will doubly touch. I said, then you're an idiot. You're honestly a most idiotic being on this planet Earth. You don't touch the feet because you want to transfer the karma. You touch the feet in devotion. You revere that Parabrahma because he's God Almighty. That is the reason why you touch the feet. Not because you want to, I will transfer more karma. And please remember, at that time, Maya will give it back in 100 times that karma to you. Nothing will happen because you already have a motivation of why you're touching the feet of the Guru. With that motivation and that intention, you cannot attain anything. But when you touch the feet of the Guru with Guru Bhakti, the devotion to him, realizing that he's the greatest God on planet Earth, when you have that devotion and touch the feet, that is when magic happens. Then you attain the Parabrahma, not otherwise. Please remember this. People think, I want to hold your feet, I will massage your feet, nothing is going to work. But when you only do selflessly, with a bhakti, what should you do with? Love and devotion. Absolute pure love. That is why we say pure bhakti. Not with a motivation. Even if you have an iota of a doubt or deceit, your mind saying, oh, touch his feet, so that your karma will reduce. And then think whatever you want around it. Nothing is going to work. No magic is going to happen because it is full of self-conceit. When do you think you will attain this? When you are not even thinking anything. No mind status. That is when the divine will bestow upon you whatever your innermost heart's being's desire is effortlessly, not with an intention or a hidden agenda and a motivation. If you come and do, nothing will work. Maya will become even more stronger in your life. Please remember this. And such devotion has Brahma Sthiti, the state of oneness with the Brahman, for a slave being presented as Anandan. Andan. There nobody gives importance to moksha, and the holy places of pilgrimage roll at the feet. Absolutely profound. What is being said here? Nobody gives importance to moksha. When you have this Guru Bhakti, it's in the state of blissfulness. Why do you want to attain moksha? Moksha means I'm going to dissolve myself. I'm going to vanish in the Brahman. No, here it's very clear. I want to experience that sweetness, oneness, and I want to have that bhakti, devotion constantly. So there is no merging and there is no, nobody gives importance to moksha. Baba is very clearly saying here, there nobody gives importance to moksha, and the holy places of the pilgrimage roll at the feet. Every holy place on this planet earth rests at the feet of my Krishna Guruji. You don't have to go anywhere. Just surrendering unto his feet and taking the blessings and drinking the holy water, the teeth washed off his lotus feet is the ultimate redemption that you can get. And all the Ganga, the teeth, you can go to Mount Kailash, go from the lake Manas Sarovar and get that water. Even that is not going to give you that that holiness as much as you get when you drink the teeth, the holy water that is washed of your Guruji's feet. That is the highest holiness that you can get, which will absolve all your sins, give you the desirelessness state, help you towards renunciation of this material worldly life. So here Baba his first time mentioned, nobody gives importance to moksha. Understand this truth. And the holy places of the pilgrimage roll at the feet of your Guruji. That is the truth. In the last chapter, the narration was about Dikshit's Bhagavad reading, a description of the devotion of the 9 yogis, and about the darshan of Sai's feet. I also narrated the marvel of the dream of Anand Rao, whose surname was Phakde, and the glory of Sai devotion. He whom Sai takes under his wing, whether he is at home or on an island, near him is Shri Sai, most certainly by day and by night. Wherever the devotee goes and to whichever place, there he goes before him and gives him darshan quite unexpectedly. This is so very true. I shall now narrate to the listeners a novel story which with the same significance, listening to which they will be quite astonished and glad at heart. To the trusting devotee who listens here with faith to the words from Sai's mouth, even the joy of Samadhi will not be equal in comparison with it, as he will swell with self-rejoicing. The sweet tale in which there is a miracle at every step, which will make the listener oblivious of himself and his heart will become overcome with a powerful emotion. It was decided to celebrate the thread ceremony of Babu, the eldest son of Kaka Sahib Dikshit, at Nagpur. Similarly, the wedding of Nana Sahib Chandorkar's eldest son was also to be celebrated, for which it would be necessary to go to the Gwalior city. Nana felt that after the thread ceremony, going to Gwalior for the wedding may cause some delay to Kaka on its account. To avoid this, he fixed a Muhurat, auspicious day and time, which was mutually convenient so that Kaka could comfortably come to Gwalior from Nagpur. After that, that exalted devotee, Nana Sahib, came enthusiastically to Shirdi for Sai's darshan and also to invite him personally to the wedding. Kaka Sahib was already there. Nana went to the mosque and with folded hands extended to Baba an invitation for the wedding. Baba then said, "All right," and added, "Take Shamya with you." 2 days later, Kaka also asked, inviting Baba for the thread ceremony. To him too, Baba said the same, "Take Shamya with you." Kaka Sahib pressed Baba to be present himself. To that also, the instant reply was, "After visiting Kashi Prayag quickly, I will arrive even before Shama. What can delay my coming there?" Now the listener should note these words carefully and understand their significance so as to be able to experience their truth and Baba's all-pervasiveness. And so, after the meal was over, Madhav Rao thought to himself, "Once I go to Gwalior, how far is Kashi from there?" He borrowed 100 rupees from Nandaram for his expenses and went to take Baba's permission. Most respectfully he asked, "Now that I am going up to Gwalior for the wedding and thread ceremonies, I think it only proper that Kashi-Gaya should also be visited, suiting the occasion. Hence, O God, I bow at your feet and pray, shall I visit Kashi-Gaya also?" Baba then gave Madhav Rao permission to go with pleasure. He further said to him, "What is improper in what you ask? Whatever comes about easily, effortlessly, should most certainly and without a mistake be availed of. Such was the command. Madhavrao hired a bullock cart and proceeded to Kopargaon. When he met Appa Kote on the way, Appa was going to Chandwad to bring back his granddaughter. When he heard about the pilgrimage to Kashi, he just jumped out of his tonga. Although he had no money for the journey to Kashi, he could not give up such company as Madhavrao's. And when Madhavrao reassured him, Appa Kote was only too ready. Happily, he sat in the bullock cart quickly to avail of such an opportunity. Never miss an opportunity to visit the pilgrimage or be with your Guruji. That's the most important thing. Spend as much as time you can get, because this moment is very precious. We don't value what we have now. And when he's gone, we'll always live in regret. Never do that. Don't get carried away. You're not so busy in life that you can't afford to come and meet him. Today, there is time. Use that time, and tomorrow this moment will never be ever there again. And this is what my Krishna Guruji will always say. We waste our time not realizing the value of it, and tomorrow when this time is gone, this moment is gone, it's never going to come back, and nothing is going to be same ever again. So value, live now. Appa Kote Patil was wealthy, but being in transit, he had no means of getting any money. On that account, he might miss going to Kashi. This was his greatest worry. Why not avail of the opportunity knocking at the door, and that too in company like Madhavrao's? Such was the innermost wish in Appa's mind. So knowing his difficulty and giving him a timely reassurance, Madhavrao took Appa with him so that he might get the merit of a pilgrimage of Kashi. Then they went to Nagpur for the thread ceremony, when Kaka Sahib gave 200 rupees to Madhavrao for his expenses. From there, they went to Gwalior for the marriage ceremony. There, at that time, Nana Sahib gave 100 rupees to Madhavrao. See, you should understand what Baba said. I'm going to reread this verse here. Baba said, further said to him, what is improper in what you ask? Whatever comes about easily, effortlessly, should most certainly and without a mistake be availed of. So remember these words of Baba, okay? And then from there they went to Gwalior for the marriage ceremony. At the time, Nana Sahib gave 100 rupees to Madhavrao. Srimant Jattar, the bride's father, also gave him 100 rupees. In this way, Nana's Guru Bandhu had quite a collection given to him very lovingly. See, somehow Baba makes arrangements. So why worry? Effortlessly it comes to you. On the Mangal Ghat at Kashi, there is a Lakshmi Narayan temple, beautifully carved with Jadoo work, of which this Jantar was the owner. Sorry, the Jattar was the owner. Jattar owned a beautiful temple of Sri Ram in Ayodhya too. At both these holy places, attention and courtesies to these guests were entrusted by Jattar to his Munim. From Gwalior, they went to Mathura. They were accompanied by Oze, Biniwale and Pedharkar also. But the three last mentioned returned home thereafter. They spent 41 days there and 2 months at Kashi. The sun and moon eclipses over, they both set out for Gaya. In Gaya, the epidemic of plague had broken out. In lanes and bylanes, people stood anxious and worried. This was the news they both heard while still in the train. The train puffed into the station at night, so they both rested in a nearby Dharmashala for the night. In the morning, a Gayavan came to meet them saying, come on, hurry up. The whole crowd of pilgrims has set out to go. Disturbed and frightened in his mind, Madhavrao asked him in a low tone, we will come, but is there an epidemic in your locality too? So he replied to him, oh, do come there and see for yourself. There is no such thing there. Come with me without a doubt. So they both then went to the Gayaval's place and were pleased at heart to see his spacious house. Another reason for the happiness was that even as they sat down there, on seeing Baba's picture right in front of him. Madhura was overcome with powerful emotion. How sweet. What did Baba say? Shama, before even Shamya reaches, I will be there. So in what form, it doesn't matter. But his words are very important. Never had it entered their minds or thought that at a distant place like Gaya, their eyes will alight at Sai's picture. Amazement filled their hearts of both. Madhura was overwhelmed with love as tears of joy welled up in his eyes. So the Gayaval asked, "Why are you crying?" On seeing Madhura cry without any reason, the Gayaval grew suspicious and anguished. Gayaval was greatly worried, thinking that since there was a plague in Gaya, Madhavrao must have been anxious as to how this pilgrimage would be completed as per plan. I've already told you that here there is no plague, and yet you worry. I am really surprised. If you have no faith in me, then do please ask everyone here. You need not fear for even a single hair on your head here. Then why do you shed tears? Having taken a dread of the epidemic of plague and having lost his nerve, this pilgrim weeps unnecessarily like this all the time. So thinking, the Gayaval tried to explain and to pacify. But in Madhura's mind, the thought was, how has my mother Sai come here before me today? But that is what Baba's word was. I will be there before you, Shamya. That's what Baba said so nicely. Of course, he will keep up his words. Please remember, you need to pay very close attention and with absolute concentration to what your Guruji is saying. And he says, they talk in a very cryptic language. You can never understand, but when you pay proper attention, when you listen, you will realize the words of what your Guruji is saying, the profoundness. Every word from their mouth is gospel truth alone. Earlier, Baba's words had been, visiting Kashi Praya quickly, I will arrive even before Shama, and here was the direct experience of their truth. On entering the house, when Baba's picture stood before the eyes, this quite unexpected experience caused them great wonder. The throat choked with love, a flood of joyous tears poured from the eyes, and the hair stood upon ends as beads of perspiration sprang up all over the body. Such was Madhavrau's condition, while thought uppermost in Gayaval's mind was quite different, and he really thought that Madhavrao was crying because he was afraid of the plague. But being most curious, it was Shama himself who later asked Gayaval, "How did you get this picture? Tell us everything in detail." Gayaval then began to narrate the detailed account to Madhavrao about the marvel that had happened 12 years ago. Listen to it. Gayaval had 200 to 300 people on his payroll who used to maintain a detailed register about the pilgrims at Manmad and Puntambe. It was the regular business of Gayaval to make the necessary arrangements for the pilgrims. While his work was going on thus, Gayaval went to Shirdi. He had heard that Sai Samarth was a great saint, so he wished that he should be blessed by taking his darshan. He took Sai's darshan, made obeisance at his feet, and then he felt a keen desire to obtain Sai's picture. Madhavrao had a picture hanging on the wall, which Gayaval asked for, and with Baba's permission, Madhavrao gave it to him. This is the same picture which belonged to me, and this was that same Gayaval. Then Madhavrao remembered. And how did Baba send me to that same place? And oh, how he has brought about this meeting after such a long time. In fact, who and why will anyone remember a thing that had happened 12 years ago? It had never come to my mind at all. But Baba's ways are inscrutable. He sent Shama to that same place, and there itself he gave him darshan. Gayaval too was greatly pleased. It was this same picture that I had given after taking Sai Baba's permission, and that to the same Gayaval. Shama now remembered. It was at his place that I had stayed earlier after coming to Shirdi, and it was he who had arranged for me to have Baba's darshan. Remembered Gayaval too. Because of the favor done earlier to each other, their joy knew no bounds. He made excellent arrangements for Shama in Gaya. So great was his wealth that elephants waited at Gayaval's doors. Himself he sat in the palanquin and made Shama ride on the elephant. Happily, they went to the Vishnupad with articles of puja, and after performing puja with Abhishek to the god, they also offered Pindadan to the mains. Then the Brahmins were satiated with a meal and dakshina after first making naivedya to the gods. Thus the pilgrimage was completely completed satisfactorily, or rather, Baba got it completed by them. Please remember, no matter what you begin in your life, when you have the grace of your Guru, be it a small event, be it a big thing in life, when you perform it with a blessing from your Gurudev, then only that will have the most beautiful completion, not otherwise. You cannot, go on any journey without the blessing of your master. You should always seek his blessings, and when they bless, everything will turn magic. I'll tell you a very beautiful thing. Once, in this context, I'll give as an example of how it works. Many years ago, that's when I first moved to Singapore. In less than a year or 6 months, I bought my handbag, and I also bought something else. I forgot what exactly was it. And then I met my Guruji when I was in India. So then he was saying, "So what is this? Oh, this is my latest bag." So I first took his permission. It could be the simplest, stupidest thing, but I took my Guruji's permission to even buy that handbag. I said, "Guruji, it is costing so much. Can I buy?" But I took his permission. It is very important. To me, that is how I started off. And then when I was visiting India, I showed him. He saw. He said, "Very nice." And when he touches, that's a blessing. You might not understand the significance, but here it is mentioned. The significance is very great. Even the smallest thing, his blessing is very important. When he touches, it has his grace on it. No matter what you wear and what you do, what you eat, everything has to be first offered to the divine Lord, mighty Lord. Get their blessings, then only embark on any journey. And then I bought something and he said, "Show me." And he took from me and then returned it to me. Do you know why I took that? I said, "I don't know, Guruji. Why did you do that?" He said, "When we take, we bless it and give it back to you." What does it mean? And then he explained that day. See, I didn't know, but I was just, I would always give it to him, show, not understanding that is how it was. But then he gave me an understanding. So he said, when we, take it and touch it, we bless. The great masters bless it so that there is no sin or karma accruing with that. Or there is nothing, anything shall befall on that, whether on the journey, when you use the product or something, or when you even eat the food, there will be no karmas into that. So they purify. It's basically purification. And then you bless, and then the journey happens very beautifully in the most unexpected manner. You will have the greatest of the darshans. The gods will give you that darshan. What does it mean? See, because Guru is the doorway to God. Every other god bows down to this great Guru. So you think his devotee visiting the divine, you think they will not give you darshan? So every time when somebody goes on a pilgrimage, they will seek the permission, and we will always seek the permission of my Guruji if you're going on our own. But when you're going with Guruji, that's so altogether a different, it's on a different planet, it's a different level completely. So when he gives the permission, then you get to meet the divine. So you will experience the divine over there. So that is how it is, and your journey will be smooth. There will be no obstacles that will come about, and everything will go well, and you will evolve beautifully. But without seeking his blessing, you are not going to go anywhere. Please understand, no gods will bless you. His blessing is the most important thing. And that is the day he gave me this understanding. And then he gave it back to me and said, "Keep it with you." So for me, every small thing, first it is an offering to my Krishna Guruji. Without offering to him, we don't even partake of any food, even wear anything, no matter what it is, small, big, everything is first offered to him. Without his permission, we don't do anything. Such is what you have to abide by. And this is exactly what Baba is also imparting here. Then, the essence of this whole story, however, is words. From Baba's mouth always come true. Each and every letter is proved by actual experience. His love for the devotees is also boundless. But this is only so far as his love for the devotees is concerned. In fact, he looked upon other creatures as equal to. Not only was he exceedingly fond of them, but was one with them at heart. Absolutely. My Krishna Guruji in the village named this dog. A very small puppy. When we went to village, we just saw in one of my relatives' home, and my Guruji gave him a name. They used to call him Julie. So he said, "This is a boy. This is a male dog. Why are you calling him a girl's name?" So he called him Julie, and I'm not joking. So it's been a year, and after many months, 8 months, when we visited recently, the dog was so loyal. He ran and came. He could recognize my Guruji. You know why? Because that is what they understand, that love. They're so much more loyal than any human beings. It is said when you feed a dog for 3 days, the dog will be loyal to you for eternity. But you feed a human being for 3 years, they will forget in 3 seconds. But this is the profound truth of life. So be loyal. Understand this Guru Mother and never leave him ever. So Julian, when I saw it, was so sweet. He came, he got so attached, he was jumping, he was playing. He recognizes. That is called love. Why? Because it is mentioned here. It says, he looked upon other creatures as equal to. Not only for he exceedingly fond of them, but was one with them at heart. Similarly, even, and I actually narrated this very sweet story, how when we went to a bird park in Singapore, a peacock. No, when everybody fed, even including me, when I fed him, he didn't bite me. It just ate the food. But when my Guruji fed him, it started biting him so hard. I think, because it understands there's some bond. And I said, probably the peacock is very angry with you for something that it wants or you didn't give it. So it's just expressing its anguish or whatever that is. It was the most cutest sight. So can you understand how beautiful it is? They can have a conversation with the entire universe, because only they know that the entire universe is one with them. They can only see God in everything. They are not different from this entire universe, and that is why we have to revere everybody and serve everybody, be good to everybody, and be kind to everyone. So returning, but this is, I finished this. Not only was he exceedingly fond of them, but was one with them at heart. Returning to the mosque from the Lendi while walking casually on the way, if he sometimes met a herd of goats, Baba would feel most happy. He would then cast his nectar-like glance over them all, sometimes selecting a goat or two out of it. Whatever price the owner asked, Baba would pay him at once and keep the animals with Kondaji. Such was Baba's usual practice. There is a new story which is going to be beginning now, but I will not start now because we're already at the end of the hour. So I will start with this new story on Monday. So thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayan. Wishing you all a very happy Friday and a very happy Thanksgiving. And plus, today is Tulsi Kalyanam. It is the day when Lord Shri Krishna fulfilled his promise of getting married to Tulsi. So please worship him and always be devoted unto his lotus feet. So today is a very lovely day. ओम श्री महागणपते नमः। ओम श्री गुरुदेव दत्त। ओम श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। दिगंबरा दिगंबरा श्रीपाद वल्लभ दिगंबरा। ओम श्री कृष्ण गुरुनाथ नाथ श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम देवी दुर्गाय नमः। ओम श्री कृष्णार्पणम नमस्तु। कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुम्।